We know Thomas Edison was one of the greatest inventors in American history. But did you know he was a versatile and successful businessman as well, raising capital, supervising factory production, and managing thousands of employees? In the book, At Work with Thomas Edison, 10 Lessons from America's Greatest Innovator, author Blaine McCormick sheds a bit of light on Edison's often overlooked business achievements. McCormick recently took Business Unusual's Ali Velshi on a tour of Edison's laboratory in West Orange, New Jersey, to explain.
He's been called the original nerd because of his passion for invention, but it was his incredible business sense that made Thomas Edison a success.
His legacy as a businessman, Ali, he was what I call America's first high-tech entrepreneur. I mean, this was the first guy who married capital and technology. He was not the first to invent the light bulb. On one historic list, he's number 24 about. There were a lot of competing light bulbs, but he was the first one to create a mass-manufactured, mass-marketable, mass-capitalized. Yeah. Because he understood that in a capitalist nation, whoever attracts the most capital wins.
At the Edison National Historic Site, his legacy is preserved. Edison researched, invented, and mass-produced products here. During his heyday, Edison had a staff of thousands at his factory, but even with a staff that large, Edison himself remained a workaholic.
This is a portrait done of Edison after he had been awake for 3 days, perfecting the phonograph. Yeah. And it has the place of honor. You know, this is above the fireplace. You usually hang your greatest portrait there, and he looks miserable. But he thinks this, I mean, he wants everybody to know this is me at my best after I've worked myself, perfecting an invention.
Although a light bulb goes off in most people's minds when they think of Edison, he prided himself most on his invention of the phonograph and of the motion picture.
Got the phonograph, but that's not really the whole story here. We've got the phonograph, but he really invented the music industry. We've got the motion picture, which was invented over on the second floor of this next building. But that's not really, he invented the motion picture industry, which is really a dominant American industry.
There were no tuxedos or red carpets, but Edison was the recipient of the first ever Academy Award. Edison made millions from his inventions. He has 1,093 patents to his name. He changed the world with his inventions, and he knew it.
Let's take a look at this piece right here. This is called the Genius of Electricity, and it's very symbolic. It's an angel holding an electric light bulb. But look what he's stomping on. These are the implements of the. This is no gas light down in here, and this is actually, it's a very in-your-face kind of piece that says, you know, I'm stomping out the gas industry here.
And the conglomerate of the consolidation of all of his electrical inventions became General Electric.
Became General Electric, yes. They consolidated all of his patents, General Electric up and running, and you know the rest is history today. But the other side of the story, again, that we bring back here with his business side, is that he incorporated over 100 businesses and partnerships. And that usually is not what makes it into the history books.
Blaine, what's the part of Thomas Edison that most Americans would be surprised to learn about?
The part that he's surprised to learn about, there are several things, but let me focus on one. He did all of this, Ali, and he was deaf. He was deaf. This is a guy who invented the motion picture deaf, the sound industry deaf, everything. Very surprising.
For Business Unusual, I'm Ali Velshi.
So how did a deaf man, even a brilliant one like Thomas Edison, invent the phonograph and the motion picture? How could he do that without hearing the sound? Well, he would feel the vibrations. Edison would bite down on the edge of the speaker horns of the phonograph, and his teeth would transfer vibrations to his jawbone. This helped him differentiate between the frequencies and ultimately to understand the sounds. We'll be right back with a look at next week's Business Unusual. Stay with us.